Welcome back to the program. This is still Good Morning Kenya. Time for our second conversation this Tuesday, and we want to delve deeper into matters entrepreneurship. Our focus being opportunities available out there for the youth. Which ones are they? Are they even there in the first place? And then which ones are they then as a young person or as a youth? What exactly can you do to actually make sure you can be able to tap into these opportunities? And which better person to actually have this conversation with other than a young person who's our guest today, Nafula Kisiangani. Did I get that second name correct?
Yes.
I pronounced it correctly?
Yes.
Who's the founder and executive director of Ubuntu Development Solutions. Welcome to the program, Nafula. How are you doing?
I'm well.
You're well?
Yeah.
I love the smile. All right. Ubuntu Development Solutions. Let's just begin from there. Perhaps you can tell us what is the need that you spotted and what exactly is Ubuntu Development Solutions all about?
I had been in, and I still am in activism and advocacy space for quite some years. I started, it's been over, I can say over 10 years. Then while in the game, I discovered a lot that many people are passionate, especially young people. They are so passionate, they have energy to bring change. And they're doing amazing work in driving social change, but unfortunately they don't have the capacity to run the organization effectively. So I realized that there will be a hype. Then after like 5 years, you know, when responsibility gets in, they abandon their courses, like you're going to look for a job because, you know, now maybe you have a family that needs money. Because when you look at the activism and advocacy space in Kenya, it's run by majority young people who are volunteers. And you know that one cannot sustain social development, it cannot sustain social change. There are also issues of over-reliance on donor money. Which is also not sustainable because, you know, it is good when it comes, but sometimes it might not come. For instance, you know, now Kenya is now, we were elevated from to middle income country. Yes, country. And you know, that means that now a lot of opportunities will not be coming to us because there are other countries that are in much need, that are still poor, that are still very poor. So I am very passionate about social development and social justice. So I decided to start an outfit that focuses so much on empowering organizations and individuals who are working to drive social change. Because I also realized most consultants are focused on the private sector because there's a lot of money there.
So it's all about where the money is.
Where the money is. But then I realized there is also this market. So like I decided to come up with packages like for them. I focus so much on them.
This is for individuals as well as organizations?
Yes, there is individual, there is organization, like through the process so that they can organize themselves in a more sustainable manner and sustain the impact that they want. Yes.
It's all about sustainability also.
Yeah, it's all about sustainability.
This is actually the whole idea also behind Ubuntu Solutions.
Yes.
All right, there's a conversation I watched some time back and you said that for us as Africans, most of our problems are not, most of the solutions that we have for our problems are not made by us as Africans. So from your perspective, even as someone who's really into enterprise, entrepreneurship, young people, capacity building and all of that, do you feel like that is a deterrent for even us to grow economically as Kenya, as Africa as a whole?
Yes, because, you know, the danger of it is that there is a hole of dependency. And we have to start looking at ourselves for a solution because we are the people who stay here and understand our problems. You cannot expect someone from outside to come and raise solutions for you. And one thing we have also to understand is that when other countries are doing things for us, they're just advancing their foreign aid policy. So it's just that it matches with ours, but we need to have our agendas as a people. We need to start having conversations about us being on the forefront to solve solutions to solve problems that are affecting us as a people. We need to be proactive, because so far as I look at things, there's a whole thing about dependency that and this has killed even our innovation. We can't be innovative because we are always expecting someone else to come and solve our problems. So from where I come, like even Ubuntu was my inspiration since I was in campus. It's a South African word that means somehow connotates I am because we are. And I feel like if we come together like that unity, supporting each other, seeing our problem, like seeing about it. I desire to see an African where Africans are on the forefront of addressing their own problems. Yes.
You've said something very important, and I want us to stay there just a bit. That sometimes we even lack that innovative kind of mindset or even spirit per se. So again, what do you feel perhaps we need to do to be more creative enough to get solutions tailor-made to fit our problems? Because perhaps it's all in the creativity that maybe we are lacking.
A lot of our challenges, from my perspective, is psychological. Like
it's all in the mind.
It's all in the mind. We just need to be a little bit open-minded, and I used to also attribute this partly to our curriculum, but I'm hopeful with the new CBC, like there has to be space for people to think, and because creativity and innovation is something that is also nurtured, and the system can create it or the system can kill it. When I look at the previous system, it was outliers. Like personally, I will say I've been a beneficiary of so many programs that have worked to me. I'm not self-made.
And no one is.
I'm a product of so many kind people who have who volunteered to mentor me through the process. How many Kenyans, how many people get those opportunities? That is why we have, if we want creativity and innovation, we have to tailor-make our curriculum around that. Yeah, because as the way things were, when you look at the systems that we used to have, especially our education system, there was a very limited space to nurture creativity. Even our corporate spaces, there's a very limited space. Like the policies are there, you're supposed to think in a particular way and do things in a particular way, and that is and that environment kills creativity, it kills innovation. So we have to be a little bit open-minded, and we have to, the role that our governments and relevant stakeholder can do to try and put systems that encourage people to think.
To think broader and think wider. Now, you know, also when you talk about sometimes perhaps the way even our corporate setup system is, you know, there's always sometimes that analogy of huku vitu zinafanywango hivi. So even when you come there as a young person trying to be very creative, you go like, we've tried these things, wanakuja kutuambia nini?
It was hard. I can tell you, personally, I resigned in 2016 because sometimes you feel you're micromanaged. And you know, when you're micromanaged, it's like you're being put in a tiny box. And you have all these ideas. So it's a bit hard to implement there. Like I needed a free space where I can think, where I'm also free to make mistakes. You get it? Because you know, you learn through mistakes.
Learn from them.
You have to learn through mistakes. Actually, failure is part of success. Before you actually come up with something that is working, you realize you need to, because if you are afraid of making mistake, you cannot grow. That is it, and it's even that way in business. And also another thing maybe to encourage creativity and innovation is, like, I can talk about, even we need support of young people. I can tell you, like, from my perspective, it was not easy. Because I had known I have a passion in this when I was in campus, because I really used to enjoy running charity organizations. Volunteering. Yes, I was always outside there doing things for people, reaching out to street families, reaching out to sick people, reaching out to people in the slums, and they used to fulfill me a lot. Anytime I would create impact in someone's life, it used to fulfill me a lot. And I was doing then finance, and then I was also doing CPAs. So upon my graduation, I went to the corporate world. But I worked, because I needed experience to understand also what I did. But then my heart was not fully there.
In finance.
I realized that I used to enjoy so much work that entails just changing people's lives. So it was a bit hard, because now you are torn between bills and chasing passion.
I wanted to come there because you're saying that you enjoyed a lot of, you know, volunteering. It's more like giving back.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask you, so you enjoyed this whether money was coming in or not?
Money was not coming in.
And you still enjoyed it?
I used to enjoy a lot. Actually, I always tell people, like, something that you can do without, if you can do something without, and for me, I feel like that is freedom. Freedom, because now it reached a point now I had to make a very tough decision, because even when I was working in finance, over the weekend I was going to do my charity works, and surprisingly,
where your heart is,
where my heart is, I was more fulfilled than what was paying me.
You know, and why I asked that is because since you're also talking about opportunities available there for the young people, or even the youth, maybe in entrepreneurship or even in the corporate space, is because, and I want to tie these two things together. First, we are told that for us as young people, you know, and someone said, or people say that we are called the generation whereby we all we have is audacity.
Yeah.
We just have the audacity. In essence, we are not so willing to learn per se, because we feel, I went to school, I have a degree, I'm talented. So what exactly are you telling me? So even when I come to this place with these ideas per se, it's not like I'm really willing to learn. And you work a lot with young people. Do you agree with that kind of mindset? Is that really the case with most of us young people?
Actually, there is a whole village mentality in it. I remember when I resigned, it was not easy. Like, I could get comments like, you passed exams, because I got a minor. Yeah. You went to UON, you did finance, you did CPS, and then you just leave all of that to go and start chilling with making noise.
What is social development?
What is it like? That is, and then there is a whole thing that, so it was being reduced to. And that is for something, let's say, who failed exam, something like that. Yeah. You get it? And I think that is where there is a big problem, because people are not doing what they love. Because we are not doing what most Kenyans, they're just working for money. There's a whole difference between doing what you love and just working for money. And most of young people, and that is why they cannot maximize their productivity. Okay. Actually, if you are in a job whereby you are always looking for weekends
I can't
to
wait
rest.
for Friday.
You can't wait for Friday. Just know you are in a wrong space, because when you are doing what you love, trust you me, you don't care.
Is that why most of them are running to entrepreneurship? Because, you know, there they say, now I am my own boss, I can go to that business at my own time.
No, the whole thing is that entrepreneurship is also not easy. Why do people romanticize it? It's not about...
Because they say, you know, I'm my own boss. I can...
You are your own boss, but there are days you'll work even 24 hours. Most of the time I sleep at 1. Entrepreneurship, people make it as if it's an easy way out of employment. Because now there you're going to think 24/7. Remember when you're employed, your boss is also thinking for you, or your supervisor.
Like the way mine has just thought for me about this topic.
Yes, the systems are already in place. Yours is just to come in. But when you are an entrepreneur, you are in charge of everything. Resource mobilization.
It's you.
You have to put the systems, like before the business peaks, because it takes quite some time. You get it? Entrepreneurship also is patience. Before the business peak, you are at the center of everything. So it's not like, and I want to be a little bit harsh. It's not for lazy people. Because you'll give up, and there are so many challenges. You get it? And you just understand the nature of our markets. You get, it's not easy. And also, like in Kenya, there are no structures and systems to support entrepreneurs.
So something like that.
So you have to be very resilient and very hardworking. Because now here you're complaining about 8 to 5 job. There you will work for even 15 hours non-stop. Yeah, because who will you complain to? And everything is
have no income.
You have no income. Things are not working the system. So, but the beautiful thing about entrepreneurs, once you've put up the system, like, it improves with time. Now you can gain your freedom, because now things are working for you.
But that takes time.
But that takes time, that takes discipline, that takes a lot of resilience and a lot of focus. So you really have to have a very clear vision and know where you're going. Yeah, and that is why we are there to help people who are trying to throw themselves into entrepreneurship. But it's not as easy as people say that, oh, I'll just leave my job and do this and this. Yeah. You have to plan, and the reality is that as a country there is no support mechanism for young people. There's something before we even came into this, I was trying to tell you how maybe resigning from job, like it was not easy. It's not that someone was giving me money. You get it? Yeah. And when you start a business, it will take time before you even start seeing the financial benefits of it. Like I said, it's all about patience. So are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to live a minimal, like you really have to reduce your expenses. Like remember when I was starting, one of my strategies just to reduce my expenses like to 10K. To
invest into the business.
To concentrate. You even know the business will not give you money immediately. Because I did not go to the business. I did not start my business then. Because I was switching career, because I had a lot of experiences in finance and accounting. Yeah. But my passion was in a different place. Yeah. So I wanted to professionalize that. So it means I had to start building myself in that now professionally. Other than, passion is not enough. Passion
and talent is not
and enough. Talent is not enough. Yes, so I had to build it. You have to know the rules of the game. You have to understand. So I had to start going for trainings, volunteering, people who are in the fields that I like. You get it? I had to start learning online free. Nowadays, you can learn a lot. There are so many online free courses. Attending fellowship and to understand now things about social development, like the UN system, how the government system, things to do, let's say, with gender, SDGs, you get it? Yeah. Like you have to understand everything, and that is also what inspired me now to go for my master's now in development studies. Because, like I said, talent is just not enough, and passion. You also have to be relevant. You get it? You need knowledge also to understand how things work, so that you're more credible. So when you are an entrepreneur, another thing is that you should invest in what you love. And that is also inclusive of time as well. It's time, it's everything, and you should be willing to sacrifice. You get it? If maybe you are used to a very huge lifestyle, when you're throwing yourself there, because like I said, the first years, it's always about more of investment. So you have to think about your survival in those years, and it means toning yourself down. Like, you get it? Yes. Just like I said, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of focus, a lot of resilience, and sometimes even shutting your ears. Just going by your vision. Because everyone, the way we've been nurtured, there's been a template. Finish school. Yeah. Get a job, get married. Get kids. Yes. Then see how life goes. Then see how life goes, and then maybe, that is it. But now that can flip. But this is a road, this is a path that you are in it alone. So, and there is uncertainty. Sometimes you're not even sure of yourself. You just have an idea. You just have a dream. You just have a dream. Sometimes you look crazy. You can't. Okay, I really want us to also talk about this, because you sort of mentioned it in passing, and this is about vision. Maybe for those that are watching and they're thinking maybe to begin something or have a startup of whatever sort, because this is part of what you do in large capacity. Yeah. When you look at a business model or a business structure, which one is more important to actually have? Is it the mission, the vision, the clarity of the business, the branding, or all this together? Where does really one start? Okay, I always say the best place to start first of all is a vision. Clarity is something you gain along the way. Yeah. Clarity follows you. You have but having a dream, a vision should be attached to your dream, to your passion, to everything. Because at the end of the day, what sustains entrepreneurship is your passion. That's the first thing. That is what sustains, because like I told you, there are times even you yourself, you will doubt yourself. It can be so hard, but when you're doing what you love, you'll always find the energy to wake up next day and try.
Yeah.
So the vision is very, very, very important. Like, don't just start something because someone else starts. Ask yourself, if this thing is not bringing money, let's say for like 3 months, will you continue doing it?
Do you have the love for it?
Do you have the love for it? And then the mission is actually what you're doing to achieve your vision. What is your strategy?
So the first thing is to have the vision.
The vision is very important. Like for me, my vision, like when I was doing charity, like I told you, I was just passionate about dignified. It was something around dignified society, something of the sort. But now when I wanted to professionalize it, because now I was getting away from the NGO to the corporate world, and I wanted to professionalize it. You get it? So I decided like it's a sustainable social development, because I realized that one will help improve human dignity and all those, and to achieve all the social justice. When I build this organization that consistently work on this, you get it? Yes. We are going to achieve that. So so with time you gain clarity, you improve, and it's not that even branding, the things that those works don't end. I can't tell you how many times I've changed my logo
and branded and rebranded,
because you keep growing. You keep growing in it. But the main important thing is just the vision and the passion. Like, do you love what you're doing? You know, the problem is that many business fail because I've seen you doing it. So I want to compete with you. First of all, you don't know if there are gaps in the market, because you also have to know, is this something that people will appreciate? Have you seen a need? Are you responding to a need? That's also another thing. That's why I began by asking you, what was the need you spotted in the market when you began? And have you engaged those people who have that need? You get it? What are they saying? Can they afford? Is what you're offering their priority? Because at the end of the day, you need them. Like I told you, passion is not just enough. You have to go through this steps. You have to go through this stage. So like the vision is very important. The vision will inform. Through the vision, now you can formulate you can know the mission. Like, what do you want to do to achieve that? Like the mission are the things you do daily to achieve your vision. And then branding just complement. Now to put everything, to be visible, to communicate outside there, and then it is so hard. Like, clarity is also very, very important. But like I say, you will not have clarity like the first time. You get it? It takes time. Like for any young entrepreneur, I'll say just start where you are. Start where you are. Start where you are, but make sure you're doing what you love. It looks like you're sort of running out of time, but I wouldn't want us to even finish this conversation without talking about the biggest challenge when it comes to business. In whatever capacity, there's always that aspect of capital. And you see, anytime you talk about capital, you always think financial capital, but there are various other forms of capital. You have the social capital. And I really want you to just talk a bit about that, because we really don't put so much emphasis and even thinking into that kind of capital, yet it's very important, because that's all about networking. Actually, that is what worked for me, because I started my business without money. Like every business person says, I mean. Without money, by the way. If someone is waiting to have money to start something, I always say they are not serious. Utangoja sana. They are not serious. Like, I remember, that was, now I wanted to get it. I had been doing what I was doing, but not in an organized manner as a business. So in 2018, actually, I was disappointed. I had a partial scholarship to go and do something in Poland, projects. It was project management. But then I realized it's not something that I wanted. First of all, there's a misfortune that happened that now I could not go. But then I was also conflicted, because that is not what I wanted. I wanted a development-oriented masters, because I had already known my passion, because I felt like project management, finance, I already have a lot of management. You get it? So I just need now to get into where my passion is. So when I was disappointed, I was still in Kenya, because I was also trying to run away after being elections in Kenya, because I'm also active in in politics and stuff. So when the handshake happened, your expectations post-election, everything did not go the way, now you're just stranded in a place like, so I wanted a break. So when I realized I'm going to be in Kenya, I had to say, what will I do? And I wrote down all my skills because I'd been doing this. I've done this for people. I've helped organizations win proposals, like get grants and what. I knew I can do all this. I've been developing curriculums for organizations. I've been facilitating boot camps. I've been there. I've organized all these things. So I sat down and wrote down all my skills. And my starting point was, now I am doing a boot camp. I chose a place. And I will charge 1,000 per person. I got 30, and that was the money to register the company. You get it?
Yeah.
So that is where we started from, and then I looked at myself, like you've said, capital is not just money.
Yes.
So I had that money, but it was also easier for me because of my social capital, and that is why I encourage young people to volunteer. You know, when you give, you receive. Because for me, it was not hard. It was not hard for me to seek help, because I had volunteered to people. So maybe when I want an office space, I go to someone who I volunteered.
And this in essence built your social capital.
And I also had young people that we were doing this together. Now we also do skill exchange. I create for you a profile, you do for me a website.
All right.
You get it? and that is just how it is. So young people should don't just sit that you don't have a job.
Yeah.
Throw yourself outside there. That social capital is very, very important. You will not need like 1 million to start a business. You'll just exchange ideas, skills.
Yeah. Good enough. That's a good place to end it, because I was like, really have to talk a bit about that social capital. Just try to understand how important it is, and how a bigger factor it is for anyone trying to begin or start a business or an enterprise altogether. Thank you so much for your insight, Nafula. That has been quite insightful. Trying to understand your journey and also a bit of insights for the youngings.
Okay, sure.
All right, so that's how you bring this conversation to a close. But Good Morning Kenya is not yet done. Still plenty more on the other side of this break.